Let's talk about the most underrated hair products on the market. If you're new to my channel and if you're not, welcome back. I'm Mike. I'm a hairdresser, a L'Oreal colour specialist, a makeup fan and a skincare lover. In today's film I will be talking about the most underrated hair care brands on the market. So if you want to find out what brands are so underhyped and underrated, then you better keep on watching. What is the story, everyone? In today's film we are really talking about underrated hair care brands and products, and this is a part 2 of my overrated and overhyped hair care products that I'm going to link above here. So today we are talking about brands that just don't get the credit for as good as they are, and I picked 5 brands, and it was actually very hard to pick just 5 brands because me as a hairdresser, I know the brands are good, but I kind of had to put myself in your shoes and be like, right, what brands I think that people don't think that are good, you know? Right, you guys, so let's get right into it with brand number 1, Paul Mitchell Hair Care. Now you guys, this could be a shock for some of you, but Paul Mitchell in Ireland is highly underrated. It's a cult product, and it's one of those brands that people that have used it and loved it keep on using it, but not many new people try it out. It's, like I said, a cult brand that's been around for so long, and Paul Mitchell does not get credit for how good it is. First of all, it's a professional hair care range and it is on the affordable side. However, Paul Mitchell does not spend money on the huge marketing. It does not spend money on the beautiful packaging. It's just a good product in simple bottle that does the job. Shampoo 1, 2 and 3, and especially shampoo 3 is absolutely amazing, and they have some amazing styling products. Super Sculpt, Freeze and Shine, the list just goes on. And overall, I do think that Paul Mitchell does not get half as credit as it should for the brand that it is. Moving on to brand number 2 that I think is highly underrated, and that brand is Vichy Dercons. And Dercons is a sister brand of Vichy that looks after the scalp and shampoos and all that kind of. Now it's a small enough range, and when I was thinking, I was like, oh, am I gonna put this or La Roche-Posay? I was going in between those two because La Roche-Posay is also very underrated. However, Dercon has a very interesting hairline when it comes to Vichy. I mean, they have detoxifying shampoos, they have shampoos for scalp, they have shampoos for oily scalp, and they're actually really good, and they do not get credit for as good as they are. They're there, I'd say Vichy doesn't get the credit for it because it looks quite medicated, and I definitely feel the market that we are on at the moment is that you don't really want to use a medicated shampoo because it might look like there's something wrong with you, and some people are still quite embarrassed to go and pick up a medicated shampoo. So shampoo that looks medicated will not sell as good that shampoo that looks good. But overall, I think Vichy shampoos are very good, and the conditioners, and they do the good job. For even though it's such a small hair care range, I definitely think Vichy is onto something. Right, you guys, the next hair styling range that I think is very underrated, and we're gonna get into it, is Techni Art by L'Oreal Professionnel. Now you guys, I'm just gonna be straight up front, which is, I love Techni Art. I think Techni Art is amazing. However, I definitely think it's very underrated. Why? Because Techni Art is very much designed for hairstylists, if that makes sense. It is marketed towards hairstylists, so when you go on session styling, if you're a session stylist, or if you're doing a shoot, or if you do bridal hair, that's what you use. You use products from Techni Art because they're amazing for styling. And I definitely think that people nowadays are afraid of using products like mousses, primers, and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely think that prepping your hair before blow drying is highly underrated because people are just afraid of it because people do not know how to use it. But products like Pli, Volume Mousse, Constructor, Super Dust, I mean, Techni Art has some amazing hairstyling products. Beach Waves, oh my god, Beach Waves, Sauvage Panache, Rebel Push-Up, they have the most amazing mousses, styling products, texture sprays that are out there on the market, and people are just not buying them because they are marketed towards hairdressers, and like that, people are afraid to use something that they don't know much about. But I definitely think that Techni Art is one of the best hairstyling ranges out there. So you guys, if you're looking for a new texture spray or a hair primer, check out Techni Art, because it is very, very good, and it is highly underrated among clients and consumers. Right, moving on to the second last underrated hair brand, and I absolutely love this hair brand. And I don't know, like, this hair brand is not quite new. It's new on the block, as in it's popping up a lot now and it's getting exposure now, but I definitely think it's not getting half as credit as it should, and that brand is Away. Now you guys, I reviewed Away on my channel twice, and twice I was impressed, and I think Away is highly underrated. If you're looking for a product that's silicone free, sulfate free, that's good for the environment, that's sustainable, that is vegan, Away is for you. If you're looking for an alternative to brands like Davines, Away is for you. It's absolutely beautiful. The packaging is stunning. It smells amazing. It's a lot more rawer, as in like more raw, than other hair care ranges out there. So no, I definitely think Away does not get any credit for as good as it is, because I think it doesn't get the credit because it is so raw, and like the packaging is like, right, let's look at, like, I mean, right, this is a bottle of Away here, was just lying here on my desk. It is not, well, it's not eye appealing because it is so sustainable and natural looking, and I think that's why people tend to shine away from brands like Away. But I mean, if you're looking for something that's sustainable, silicone free and vegan and sulfate free, Away is definitely a brand for you. Right, you guys, moving on to the last brand that I think is highly underrated, and I'm gonna explain to you why I think it's highly underrated, and that brand is Nioxin. No lie, Nioxin knows how to look after hair and scalp and the health of your scalp when it comes to thinning, when it comes to dandruff, and anything to do with healthy scalp. Nioxin knows how to do it, and I adore Nioxin. However, I definitely think Nioxin is very underrated, because when Nioxin came out, it was really, people were really branding it as an anti-hair loss shampoo and hair care range. And when it comes to all that kind of stuff, people need to use it correctly to see the results. And the trick with anything that's for hair and scalp and hair loss, it needs to be used as a whole. So you need to use part 1, 2, and 3. So you need to use the right shampoo, the right conditioner, and the right styling product, or the scalp product that comes in a set. So I definitely think that people were just getting shampoo hoping for the best. Boom, it will not work. It's like, right, the best thing for me to explain it is, you want to put on muscle, so all you do is just drink protein shakes and you're not working out. Are you going to see any results? Not really, because you need to do everything to gain the muscle. Is that a good analogy? I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I definitely think that's the thing with Nioxin. And another thing, it's the packaging. Nioxin, if they change the packaging, I think Nioxin would be a lot more popular. But it's a brilliant, brilliant product. If you have any scalp issues, if your hair is thinning, Nioxin knows what they're doing. So if you're looking for something good for the scalp, good for hair loss, or just a good product to look after the overall health of your scalp, Nioxin is for you. So you guys, when it comes to underrated hair care brands on the market and products, we definitely, let me know what you think is highly underrated. I definitely think Paul Mitchell is very underrated. It's an amazing range, but like that, because they don't have fancy packaging and fancy advertisement, Paul Mitchell just gets lost along the side with every other brand. Then we have Vichy, which is like a drugstore brand, but is very, very good, and people just forget about it because it's usually at the bottom shelf in your drugstore, and no one really actually goes over and be like, oh, I'm gonna look at La Roche-Posay and see if they have any shampoos, or Vichy. They're never really with the shampoos like Elvive or Garnier or Dove or any of those. Then we have Techni Art, and I think Techni Art is underrated because people are afraid to use products like mousses, primers, etc, etc, because there was always that fear of being like, oh, if I'm gonna put a mousse, my hair's gonna be sticky. Not if you put the right mousse, your hair will not be sticky. And I definitely think the way Techni Art is marketed is definitely marketed for session styling. But the magic about Techni Art is you can put a lot of it in your hair and it will brush it out. And that's what I use in my hair, and I think it's brilliant when it comes to styling. Away is another underrated brand, and you know what? it's getting there. People are starting to hear about it, and I want OA to do well because I like the ethos of the brand. I like what they're doing. I like the products. I like their shampoos and conditioners. So I mean, overall, I definitely think OA will be very, very highly rated soon, I hope. And then we have Nioxin. I definitely think Nioxin is so underrated because it's packaging and people are not using it right. So people tried it and they were like, oh, it didn't really work. Yeah, it didn't really work because you didn't use it long enough. You have to use the product correctly to see the final results. And another thing is, I think it's the packaging, because the packaging looks so medicated. I think people are nearly like, oh, I don't know if I want to pick that up. I'd rather pick up like a nice Genesis bottle. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'd rather pick up like a Kerastase Genesis bottle, because in the shower, like if the girlfriends come over, they're not going to be like, oh, why does she have Nioxin in her bathroom? Is she tinning? Do you know what I mean? That's how I would feel about it all. Anyways guys, thank you for watching today's film. I hope you found this film rather interesting, helpful and useful. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also check out my other social media. And of course you guys, please do what? Do take care. Bye.